Who is interested in good food that is good for you? I know I am. I'm always trying to find the latest trend or food items to try and different things for my family just to kind of change it up a little bit from our normal recipes. Well, I have the cookbook for you. It's called the Hashimoto's AIP Cookbook. And this cookbook is amazing. It is geared towards people with Hashimoto's, but like I mentioned previously, Hashimoto's and MS carry a lot of the same symptoms: brain fog, fatigue, uh, just other inflammation, bloating, sensitivity, and they have a lot of the same symptoms. And I have tried this cookbook. I've tried several recipes out of it, and there's a few that are favorites that I still make. I actually need to get back on to this eating plan. I don't call it a diet because it actually is a plan to help you figure out what foods could be triggering to you and your inflammation. And that is the thing with Hashimoto's and MS is our autoimmune system is attacking itself. Hashimoto's is attacking your thyroid. MS is attacking the myelin, that's the sheathing that goes around your nerves. So a lot of the symptoms, a lot of the same attributes are there. They're two separate diseases, two separate disorders, but they have a lot of similarities. And the point of this cookbook is very similar in idea to Whole30. And if you're familiar with Whole30, I've never done Whole30. I've read about it. Is you eliminate things from your diet to kind of reset your system. And this is somewhat the same thing. But this cookbook is geared for you to figure out what is your trigger foods. And the author who wrote this, Emily Kyle, she actually has MS, and she was trying to figure out foods that would work for her. And her husband is a chef, and she goes, I figured out the foods that I can or cannot have or need to have in moderation, but how do I incorporate that into good tasting, healthy recipes? And he helped her with that. And it has a really neat little story, backstory to it. So I kind of wanted to go through some of the preliminary stuff of, this is what it talks about Hashimoto's. So I want you to listen to this to see if some of your MS symptoms are relatable. I know mine were: weight gain, fatigue, drowsiness, brain fog or difficulty concentrating, constipation, infertility. Some of the other Hashimoto disease symptoms, which can still be related to MS: dry hair, skin, nails, unusual hair loss or thinning, increased sensitivity to cold. My MS is definitely heat. Cold doesn't really bother me as much, but heat definitely does. Puffiness or paleness in the face, muscle soreness. I could pretty much, 90% of these I can relate to. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to see where we can go from here on this and figure out some things. And it talks about the whole point is for you to eliminate foods from your diet that are known causing inflammation foods. And so it goes to what to eat or not to eat. So you have foods to enjoy freely. You can have, different kinds of meats, chicken, turkey, duck, beef, pork, lamb and venison, wild-caught seafood, non-nightshade vegetables. So all vegetables except tomatoes, bell peppers, hot peppers, eggplant, and white potatoes. Those are considered nightshades, and they can cause inflammation. You can have high quality oils like olive oil, coconut oil, and extra virgin olive oil. Do your research on extra virgin olive oil. Some of the things that I've read looking at different things is olive oil should not be used for cooking, but like for salads as a dressing or a drizzle, because the heat does something to the olive oil. But do your research on that. It's just different things that I've read. So I personally stick to avocado oil and coconut oil. Fresh dried herbs, dairy-free fermented foods like kombucha, which that is not happening in this household. I have tried that once and I could not do it. kefir, which is a type of milk, sauerkraut, kimchi, and vinegar. If you do not like sauerkraut, do you drain it and rinse it? Because sauerkraut, the water is meant to be drained and the sauerkraut is meant to be rinsed. And a lot of people don't do that. So a lot of people don't like sauerkraut because of the sourness. One of the recipes that my grandma used to do was she would take some bacon and some onion, saute them up, and then put it with the sauerkraut, and it was really good. So just some things to think about if you're really anti-sauerkraut is, do you drain it and rinse it? Because that does make a difference. You can beverages, hot tea, homemade bone or vegetable broth, condiments and pantry staples, nutritional yeast, which I found out nutritional yeast, which I have not been brave enough to try yet, can be a cheese substitute. And I know that there's a lot of good recipes out there that use it, and I will get brave and try it, but I've stepped out of my comfort zone with some other things, so I'll get to that. Collagen peptides, add those to your yogurt, add those to your coffee, add those to your tea, add those to your soups, anything. It helps your hair, your nails, it just helps your system. You can coconut liquid aminos instead of soy sauce. I like it. My husband prefers soy sauce because the coconut aminos can be a little bit sweeter and taste a little bit different, but not enough to make a difference to me. Root-based products like cassava flour and horseradish. Salt, we use pink Himalayan sea salt. That's what we use. And some of the foods to have in moderation is your fresh fruit. And that's just kind of just for the natural sugars in it. Starchy vegetables, sweet potatoes, yams, squash, turnips, dried fruit, natural sweeteners. She really doesn't want you, she wants you to back off stevia, truvia, any of the erythritol, I think that's how you say it. She wants you to back off of those. So do your maple syrup, raw honey, and coconut sugar. I have put coconut sugar to make a sweet tea. I've used it in hot tea. I've used it in desserts, and it is good to me. I don't mind it, but the more you use, the more molasses flavor that it gets. So just kind of be mindful of that. And I've tasted that more when I made the sweet tea that I made, because you use a fair amount to a gallon of sweet tea. So that you just be mindful of that. It's going to take a little bit more molassesy. I don't know if that's a word, but I just used it. And foods to restrict or avoid: eggs, dairy, grains, legumes, nightshade vegetables, tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, and white potatoes, nightshade derived spices, dried chili flakes such as red pepper flakes, capsicum, cayenne pepper, chili powder, curry, paprika, ancho, adobo, nuts, all nuts including almonds, walnuts, peanuts, nut butters like almond or cashew butter, and oils like walnut or sesame oil. All seeds including chia, flax, sunflower, pumpkin, hemp, and sesame. These are all to avoid in the elimination stage of this eating plan, because you want to figure out what is inflaming your body. It's different for everybody. For me, it's black pepper, chili powder, paprika, cayenne pepper, all the peppers. I feel like my hands get swollen, even though they don't look that way, and I get joint, like the achy and such as that, and that is what I noticed for me. And so I don't eliminate it necessarily, but I use a lot less than I did. And for most recipes, I can keep it out, and we add pepper at the table. But I do a couple of recipes that have paprika, and I use them. I just know that when I've had too much, it really affects me. But by me just doing it in moderation, I seem to be doing okay. I know that sugar, refined white sugar, affects me. Before, when I first was diagnosed with MS, I just had lesions in the upper quadrant of my brain. And then they put me on Copaxone, and I was on that for just over a year and a half. It took me a while to get it. But last November, Thanksgiving time, so October into November is when I started having kind of more balance issues. Like I would be walking and just fall. and it kind of became a joke. And thank goodness I had piles of laundry around my house that I fell into. I fell on my husband. He was cooking dinner one night. I went to get a measuring cup, and if he had not pushed the pan out of the way and stopped me, he caught me, I would have fell right into the stove. And then Thanksgiving, I couldn't really use my left leg too well, but we had Thanksgiving. But that Saturday, I ended up where my right leg wouldn't work either, and so I couldn't walk. So that was a lovely trip to the emergency room, because I called my neurologist and I'm like, hey, it's not an emergency because I'm not dying or anything, but I'm having problems walking. And he's like, go to the emergency room. And I'm like, well, I don't want them to get mad at me because I'm not a classic emergency. And I get that because I have found that where I'm at with my neurologist and my medical team, it is not equal in the rest of the country. I have an amazing team, and the 2 MS sites that I'm on, there's just really sad stories where the doctors are like, oh, you don't have MS, or, oh, MS doesn't cause pain, or MS doesn't do this or that, or why did you come to the emergency room? You just have MS. And so that kind of planted a seed that I need to be mindful of that. And he was very good. He told me, you can't walk, so you need to go to the emergency room because that is an emergency. And if they give you any issues, you get their name and let me know, and I will take care of it from there. And because the emergency room is connected to my doctor, so that kind of helped me feel better. But I ended up having a week stay in the hospital, and they took me off of Copaxone, and they gave me Rituximab in the hospital to kind of help with some inflammation and kind of keep me on a protocol. And Rituximab is actually a cancer drug that has really good results for MS symptoms and just helping with the progression, not with flare-ups and everything such as that. But as of last year, it was not FDA approved, or FDA approved, I think is it, to be used for MS. So I think they're working on it. So went to talk to my doctor, and we chose for me to go on Ocrevus, which I had my first infusion last year, or not, the beginning of this year, April, May, and I actually go next month on the 3rd to get my second full infusion. So, but it's been amazing. But this eating plan, when I did it, her thing was, if your body has a lot of inflammation, you will know within the first 14 days. The protocol of the eating plan is do it for 30 days, see what results you get. If you don't get a lot of results, do it for 60 days, but don't go past 60 days. I saw results within the first 2 weeks. The brain fog, the fatigue, everything, I felt tremendously better. And so it's definitely worth trying. And the recipes are not difficult. One of our favorite recipes, and I'm going to get to it because I have made it a ton, and my husband loves it, and my daughter loves it, and it's a really good recipe. And so I just wanted to go over some of the recipes. I will eventually make some. So if you subscribe to my channel, make comments, let me know what you want me to try out of some that I mentioned. The one that I make all the time, I am going to do because it's just an amazing recipe. But some of the things that they have, I did little flags on all of this because I wanted to talk to you about certain things. And let's see here. And the book comes with a sample 2-week meal plan for you to try, and they're all the recipes that are in this book. And so it gives you that. I start with different drinks and stuff. They have an anti-inflammatory matcha latte. I will have to be honest, I've never had matcha. Never had a desire to have matcha because pale Grinch green didn't work for me. But I really did give this eating plan a go. And so I tried it, and it was funny because I made it on a Saturday morning, and because you heat it up and make a pot, and you make the latte. And I had to pray over it before I drank it because it's the Grinch green, and it was very earthy. But when I drank it, it was really good. And you make it with coconut milk, and it had coconut sugar in it. It had some ground ginger, some vanilla. I mean, it was good. So, but like I said, I had to pray over that because that was just a little bit much. But they have, breakfast sausage and cauliflower hash. So, I mean, things that, ground pork. And they have a thing in here. It's an AIP blend. So you make your own seasoning. And we even found one that was a taco seasoning that didn't have some of the chili powders. Like we made different things to help it work. But this AIP seasoning, the blend is really, really good. And it's in the recipe book. And you just make a jar of it. And I used it in everything. And it was really, really good. So the breakfast sausage cauliflower hash. And then they had, I'm trying just to go to some different ones here. I'm getting into some kind of appetizer type things. They have quick pickled red onions, lemon parsnip hummus. I mean, these are all quick and easy things to make. They're not, crazy. And they have cinnamon baked sweet potato chips. There's a lot of, we did try. We've never had, this one was good, the Hasselback baked sweet potatoes. That was good. That was a little bit more work because I've never done a Hasselback potato, but it turned out really good. But they have rutabaga French fries, and then they had garlic mashed rutabagas for mashed potatoes. So me and my husband were like, we've never had a rutabaga. Let's do it. Like I said, we kind of went all in to try the different recipes to stay on track and to really give everything a try. We have Walmart Plus where we get the delivery, and so we bought 2 rutabagas thinking, okay, 2 should be plenty for us to try. They were like this big. They were like a softball, and they were so hard. We had to go on YouTube to figure out how to peel them and cut them and use them. So I do recommend, if you try this recipe, get smaller rutabagas, and they shouldn't be quite as hard. We're going to give it a try again, but we just hadn't, because that was an experience and a half when we tried to do that. So we have to recover from that. So I'm getting into like some seafood dishes here. We have cranberry salmon, spinach salad, chilled mango salmon salad wraps, orange ginger roasted salmon. They had, I think this is, what is this one? My little sticky thing keeps moving. Mexican codfish tacos. Who does not like a fish taco? Who doesn't like tacos, period? Taco Tuesday, Taco Wednesday, tacos every day. So, and I'm going through some of the other recipes here. Let's see what I got here, because I wanted to give you kind of ideas. They have chimichurri baked chicken wings, and that was one of the things when she was talking to her husband, how do I make this good? And he goes, let's do different sauces. Let's figure out different things to season it with. It's not necessarily a seasoning of cumin and paprika and chili powder and black pepper. Let's try different things. So he did a chimichurri sauce. And if you haven't had a chimichurri sauce, it's really good. It's lime and I think it has cilantro, and it's like kind of muddled down. It's really, really good. So, and then there's another recipe here. My little sticky note got stuck to my page. They have a bok choy pork stir fry. I mean, stir fries are quick and easy. Now, this is the recipe that sold us on this book and sold me to buy this book. Because actually, one of my favorite YouTube people that I follow is This Crazy Life, and she has Hashimoto's. And so she was using this cookbook, and the first thing she made was the cilantro lime carnitas. Buy the book for that recipe and it's alone. We make this recipe all the time, and it is a crock pot recipe. It is, you just use a pork butt cut into cubes, a bunch, when I say a bunch of cilantro, white onion, minced garlic, and 3 tablespoons of freshly squeezed lime. No, I used 2 pork butts and I cut them up. I used 4 limes and a pink grapefruit. You can use an orange as well. the recipe calls for a grapefruit, but you can eat orange or grapefruit. Salt and oregano, and you just let it cook. The lime and the cilantro, oh my goodness. So to make carnitas with rice or, just on tortillas, but I got my husband a Blackstone this year, and we've been trying a whole bunch of different recipes. I can't say he has been doing a whole bunch of different recipes. He's been cooking up a storm. And we took the leftover carnitas and made carnita quesadillas with corn tortillas and little flour tortillas. Oh my goodness. It was amazing. 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 I'm just going to keep telling you that because that's how good it was. And we go into a couple of other things here because I wanted to give you an idea of all the different ones. I mean, the Mediterranean lamb meatballs were amazing. And then to get into some kind of dessert things, you have honey cinnamon fruit salad. And the one thing that I do a lot is the coconut fried apples. She sliced the apples, and I did that the first time, and they were okay. But I actually like them chunked better, and with coconut oil, tablespoon, it has the coconut sugar and a little bit of water. I also added, I have Cinnamon Plus blend that I got from Pampered Chef that they don't sell anymore, and I know that I probably shouldn't be using that because I've had it for a while, but I covet it because I can't get it anymore, even though I'm probably sure I can make it with all the ingredients they have, but I just haven't. But just add the cinnamon, and it's one that you can cook down to where it's a little bit softer, or you can leave it a bit firmer. But I had made a lot one night, and I left it, so I took it, put it in a bowl for leftovers, and then I put that on Greek yogurt. Oh my goodness, it was so good. It was so good. So I just wanted to share with you all the different things. Here you have a strawberry fruit tart, and they have like the AIP spice blend, ketchup. I don't know if you can see that. I'm really horrible with my camera. I'm still getting used to all this. They just did so many different things. Homemade vegetable bone broth, stir fry sauce, bone broth, brown gravy, the chimichurri sauce. It's cloves, red onion, parsley, cilantro, lime juice, red wine vinegar, salt, minced peeled fresh ginger root. They even do a cauliflower Alfredo sauce, and they have different, other like dressing, sweet beet vinaigrette. But the thing that's really cool about this is she gives you a symptom tracker. So when you start eliminating your foods and you slowly start adding them in, you can say when it was reintroduced, the amount, if you had any symptoms, and how are you designating it? Is it okay? Do you need to limit it, or do you absolutely need to avoid it? So again, I highly recommend this book for anybody who has any kind of inflammation issues, fibromyalgia, Hashimoto's, MS, anything. And the food is good. I know that there was one thing in here, how to make like your own coconut yogurt. That was an epic fail for me. Did not work. And I know that it was operator error. It's not the book or the recipe. I even looked up a recipe on YouTube because I love coconut, anything coconut. And I have yet to be able to do that. So I just wanted to share this with you because we live with a disorder that we will have the rest of our life. There's no cure for it. There's only things that we can do to mitigate it, to manage it, and every little thing that we can think of to do, we need to do. I mean, I'm going to try and get my refocus to get back on this because I had lost weight, but I have successfully gained it all back because it doesn't want to stay off of me. So things that I need to work on. So, and this is one of those things, but I just wanted to share that with you, and I will be doing some of the recipes and I will be filming them, but I wanted to talk to you because the whole point of my channel and the whole point of my videos is for you to know you're not alone. You can live with MS. You can do this. You be intentional. God wakes us up every morning, so we're not done. We are still needed here. We're still wanted here. We still have things to do. And I wanted to have this to be an encouragement, a support, and a motivation, and for you to know that you will survive your worst days and that I'm here. So please, thank you for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe. Please put your comments down, in the comment section. Let me know what you want to hear, what you want to talk about, what you want to see that's going to help you not be overwhelmed, help you live with this. Because I'm 3 years in, and I know that, I know somebody who's had it for 25 years, and I know people who have it a little worse than I do, who have it a lot worse than I do. But we're all in the same sister and brotherhood. We're all fighting this disease, and we are stronger than it is. Some days we don't feel that way. Some days your body doesn't react that way. But be positive. Just know that you have somebody here who's living with it and who's living with intention. We are MS warriors. We can do this. So I want to thank you for being here. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, for supporting me, and for just being here. And I hope that you get this cookbook. This is not paid, because obviously this is my 3rd video, so it's not a paid thing. But get the cookbook. It has really good recipes. And if you do get it, let me know. And we can compare recipes, and maybe you know how to do something different than I did. So, but thank you guys for joining me today. I will see you in the next video. And just let me know if you have anything that you want me to talk about or to film, because I am going to be doing some cooking videos, and I am going to be doing some cleaning videos, but I wanted to really get in and introduce myself and build this relationship, because this is definitely a community. So thanks guys, and I hope you have an amazing, blessed day, and just remember, today is a good day to have a good day. My husband is snickering over there because I tell him that every morning. So, all right guys, I love you and have a great day. Bye.